Welcome back to another video. In this one we're going to be doing Splunk. We're going to be looking at the basics of how to do searching and reporting. We're going to simulate a real-world brute force attack, and we're going to create a custom filter to search for that and add that dashboard to our main dashboard on the home page so we can always monitor if there are any brute force attacks. So let's just jump into it by going to search and reporting. And we're going to just do a wildcard search, see if we have any events at the moment. And we don't, because we haven't actually configured our inputs, because this is a fresh install. So if we go to settings, data inputs, in just a moment it will load. And if we go to local event log collection, click edit, you can see at the moment there's nothing selected. So let's just add everything. Some things are going to be unnecessary, but just for ease, let's add everything. Click save. And now if we go back to search and reporting and do our wildcard search again, we can now see we do have some events. We have 33 events, and most of this is just random normal stuff that are going to be happening on a domain controller in an Active Directory setting, so nothing really to look at too closely. What we're going to do now is we're going to simulate a brute forcing attack on this domain controller. So I'm going to go to my Kali Linux machine over here, and we're going to use, actually first of all, let's locate rockq.txt. So let's just locate rockq, and over here is the one that we want to use. So we're going to copy that, and now we're going to do CrackMapExec SMB, and our IP address of the domain controller is 192.168.1.52. We're going to put any old username in here, so for this one we'll do admin, and for passwords we're going to put a list, which is copy selection, paste selection, and hit enter. That's going to start brute forcing everything, so let's go back over to our Splunk instance over here. And we can see a lot of events are coming through, and if we refresh, 447 before, and now it's 900, so they're coming in very, very quickly. And if we just take a look at any of these events, we can see unknown username or bad password, and it's telling us that an account failed to log in. So let's just search just for these events. So if we look at the event code, we can click on it and say add to search. And now this is giving us all the events with that event code, and that event code specifically means failed login attempt. So very simply, we've now created a filter, this test for failed login events. I'm going to go back to my Kali Linux machine, and oh, it actually did find the password. The password is password1. It is a weak password, but this is just for demonstrating purposes. So anyway, that's a quick idea of how CrackMapExec can actually brute force passwords as well. Okay, let's go back and go to our Splunk instance. We now have this filter, so what we're going to do is going to go to dashboards, and we want to create a new dashboard. I'm going to call it brute force detector, and we're going to, I can't spell today. And we're going to create a grid and create. Okay, now it's loaded in. What we want to do is go to over here, we're going to create a table, and we're going to create a new search, and we're just going to paste in our event code from before, just like this. And we're going to click apply and close. I'm going to save it, and we can see it's all over here. And this looks quite ugly, this raw data, so let's see if we can find a way of removing that. So if we edit our search, we can do this, and we can type fields, and then minus, and this is going to minus the fields away, raw, because that's the name of this field. And there's some other ones we don't need as well. We can get rid of UKT, and CD we don't need, and serial we don't need, and SI we don't need. And that should sort of clear it up a little bit. Let's save that. And that does look much clearer. So we're going to set this to, let's say, a 5-minute window. And you can see it's, oh, actually, let's do a 1-minute window. and it should return but nothing because we haven't been brute forcing in the last minute, and as you can see, nothing is returned. And actually, before we do this, let's add this dashboard to our main homepage. So we go to dashboards, and we're going to be able to find our brute force detector. Just click on that, and we're going to go to actions and then set as home dashboard. And it's going to take us to home. Now we see our brute force detector over here. It's going to load in all the data. I'm going to set it to a 1 minute window, which is going to return empty. And if we now go to our Kali Linux instance, start brute forcing again, it's now running, and it's all just instantly being loaded in. So we now know if we ever see this getting filled up very quickly, it means we're suffering from a brute force attack. And you can see it's coming in very, very quickly. We have 5 pages, we have 7 pages, we have 9 pages, we have 11 pages. So definitely something to look out for if you are having any brute force attacks. So that's the video of the basics of Splunk. In the next one, we're going to be going over a real world scenario in the wild of an attack on a Windows domain controller, and we're going to see if we can use Splunk to identify some key event logs that can help us catch on to such kind of attacks before they hit critical infrastructure.